So I'm Chris Walton, I'm a meditation teacher.
I'm Dan Keneally, I'm a meditation teacher. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about commitment for your meditation practice.
Okay.
What kind of comes up when I say that?
I think commitment can seem to be a little bit daunting for some people at first, because the connotations that we have with commitment are effort and dedication, kind of like a longevity in something that they're maybe unsure about fully engaging with. I think meditation is something that people might want to kind of dip their toe into at first. So when we talk about consistency and routine, all of a sudden they're looking to juggle that with the rest of their life commitment. So people are really busy. People are really busy, and our job is to encourage them to fit something into their busy life and enable them to see the merit. And that's where conversations and discussions and encouragement is needed to help people, introduce that into their life. It's tricky.
It is. You're right. Modern life is busy, and for someone to put something that feels like a commitment into their already busy calendar, it could be a bit big ask. But if they're there asking about meditation, if they're learning it, then they are some part of them is wanting to bring it into life. So for us to motivate them to take that plunge and do it. Motivation,
That's it. It's helping people to understand what their motivation is. I think of consistency as being split into routine and motivation. That's kind of where I pitch it to people. Think about your routine and think about your motivation. And what is your motivation? So think about why you wanted to go meditate in the first place. Think about what benefits you're hoping to gain from a meditation practice, and then use that as a gauge as to whether you think the practice is meeting those expectations. If it is, that's your motivation. Your motivation comes from your own experience. So they need a little bit of belief in the first instance to say this is something worthwhile, but then once you feel the benefits from your own experience, that's your motivation to then kick on and say, I know why I'm doing this, I feel why I'm doing this, and then it's easier for people to fit meditation into their routine once they know.
So they've experienced it for themselves, because we can do what we can to talk about those benefits, but it's for them to find that, and that's how they gain motivation. But it can be difficult those first few times where you try and this meditation isn't doing all the things that you thought it would. It can be a barrier. So there is the commitment in the first few weeks will be the hardest. And if we can explain that, and that's sort of a given, they will be easier on themselves and hopefully keep that up until they see the benefits coming through.
I think so. People often want an immediate benefit or feel an immediate impact. They hear all these great things about meditation. They hear people that have been meditating for a long time talk about how great they feel, how much calmer they are, how they seem to just navigate through life with a certain amount of ease, and they want a piece of it. And if they don't always see immediate results, then it can lead them to thinking, is this really for me? And then the motivation begins to kind of dwindle. So managing their expectations is really, really key.
That's it. That big, what's seen as a barrier when you see an accomplished meditator talking about it, and then you try it and you're like, I'm so far off that, it's not working. That can be a struggle. But I really like this idea of someone that can commit to something, even if it's a test. Like, I'm going to meditate for this month, once a day, twice a day for this month, and I'm going to do a test, and then I'll decide whether to keep going. But I like this idea of helping people be that kind of person, so they're not someone that sort of will try meditation once and go, I can't do it, it's too hard. So instill in them a kind of confidence that so they step into that person that can say yes to stuff and commit to stuff, and some of that is beneficial in itself. So even if the meditation wasn't to bring too much, just to encourage them to be people that can say yes to stuff and to keep going even if there's self-sabotage. There's a benefit in that.
I think so. it's a conversation that we have regularly, but everyone has their own individual idea of what it might look like for them in their lives. Even things like people have a set routine Monday to Friday, commonly, you know. But what do I do on a weekend when my routine is less predictable? What do I do if I go on holiday? What do I do if I have people coming staying over at my house for a weekend? When my routine is unbalanced and I can't predict where and when I'm going to meditate, and I become a little bit less regular with my practice, what happens then? So many conversations. It's about being flexible, I think, and adaptable, and a certain amount of planning needs to be involved if you know that you're going to be away, or if you want to fit meditation in when your routine is unbalanced. It needs a little bit of planning, but a little bit of flexibility. And if you miss a meditation, it's not a preference, but just think about the next one. And don't be too hard on yourself, you know, because people are. We know they are.
Don't let that kind of, don't let in that little negative feeling about it, and certainly don't let that put you off continuing. I think when people are thinking about the benefits of meditation in terms of what they might want to get out of the practice themselves, I find it really useful to understand, are they interested in the scientific angle of meditation and the medical benefits for physical and mental health, or are they interested in the more spiritual side of having that inner connection with something that they think might be there that they want to explore? Or is it because they're interested in maybe some of the lifestyle changes that they think comes with having a solid meditation practice? What's their area of interest around meditation? And then pitch to them or make them aware of, if it is scientific, for example, here's some scientific research studies about the practice that you're going to do that is about brain health or lower blood pressure, or the effect it can have on stress and anxiety, or the support it can give you with ADHD. Whatever it is that they're looking for, give them some material to say, this is what you're going to be exploring. That might add to their motivation, I think. So it's that personalised touch as a teacher to say, this might be useful for you. I love that. And I'm thinking of a study that said the meditators' brains will change in 7 weeks or 8 weeks, something like that. That's a great piece of knowledge. If you can wrap that up for someone that is interested in the science, do it for 7 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is, and that's the encouragement. So I love that. And people need to test as well. So they need to test in terms of evaluating their progress. So periodically look back and say, do I think anything has changed since I started to meditate? Have I noticed any changes? Even if I don't think they may be attributable to my meditation practice, maybe meditation was the cause of that. Maybe because I started meditating, this happened. You'll be amazed how many good things start to happen when people start to meditate. And I like to encourage people to say, well, maybe this is because a knock-on effect of me sitting, closing my eyes and having that time for myself daily. And once again they feel that and they think, this is my experience, tangible benefits, intangible benefits, they're all benefits. So I'm going to keep this going, and the effect will grow and grow and grow. And that's when people think, yes, this is something that I'm going to ingrain in my daily routine and make it a non-negotiable. That's the goal. Love that.